Hello and welcome to the Cesspool podcast, where we talk about everything and anything, no matter how disgusting or offensive. This is our 11th episode, and we'll still be introducing ourselves. I'm your co-host Tyler, with my other co-host Joseph.
Our guest today is YouTuber kahgo, or just Joe. He's a reoccurring guest, and today we'll just be talking about UFOs, Twitter, and E3. So our first article, or more topic, is the UFO sightings that have been popping up recently on media in general. So apparently the government is releasing the UFO sightings that they apparently had, and a ton of quote unquote evidence is coming up with super grainy imagery and shots. So the big question here is do you guys believe in quote unquote aliens, or uh, if they exist? Because that's a big topic.
I mean, we don't have any other reason not to believe that they exist. Like a lot of people would assume that it's all supernatural stuff, which is a fair assumption to make. But I mean, shit happens.
The other argument is that these UFOs are just, in my own opinion, I think it's just a super strong guy just threw a very large frisbee and it was seen by a military person.
That makes sense.
That's my own headcanon, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Yeah, but so a lot of people there's a lot of buzz on this whole topic of whether or not this is, alien. And a lot of these medias, of course, they're all stupid because they think UFO is synonymous with aliens, which it isn't. UFO just means, unidentified flying object. So when the government says that they have a UFO division, research division specifically for these divisions, it's these medias immediately think, oh, that's evidence, therefore aliens are real. And I'm just like, that's not what that is. A UFO research division, or part of the government that researches on these UFOs, are because they are unidentified. We don't know what they are. They're not, it's not synonymous with an alien per se.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah, so if you watch some of the videos on the reactions to these, current events, there's one with, we all know this guy, Pewds, right? PewDiePie. He talked a lot about how a lot of these older footage have been debunked, and the newer ones that are coming up are being backed up by these already old and debunked pictures or footage. So it's kind of it's like false evidence being backed up to something that has come up that is yet to be debunked or yet to be proven. So the big question, or not big question, but the big issue here is it's whether or not how much influence does it really have on the normal person, right? Because now with the government, well, for the idiots, they think that the government is now finally admitting to having known of extraterrestrial life, right? Other people just still don't believe in aliens or in general. So I wanted to get your opinion on whether or not how much influence does this new UFO footage, or well, it's old, but the government is releasing it officially and all that. So I wanted to hear what this might do to our present era or thinking.
Tyler, you have anything to say, or
Well, I mean, here's the thing about UFOs, right? Because, and Joe, I think you said this, like, they're not necessarily aliens, they're unidentified flying objects. I honestly think that, like, what it's released by the government. As much as people don't like to trust the government, I have to say this is probably real, quote unquote, UFO sighting. But that does not mean it's aliens at all, honestly. And right, like a lot of people don't think about it that much. I mean, sometimes you'll have like a shower thought about aliens. I know, it's something that comes up every once in a while in your mind, just in the back of your head. But I don't really see it affecting people until there's more concrete, maybe from like a bigger government figurehead, like the president. I'm not saying Joe Biden's going to say we have aliens are real or something, but like I don't think it's going to really affect people in society that much because it.
We know about aliens, or
No, just because like it's not really relevant to most people. Like if you're working in an office building, right? You work a 9 to 5 job. You don't really care if there's aliens. You care about if
I
the
mean,
bus
if
is
there
late
are
today, or
aliens,
like right.
I feel like
As long as they're not doing
you're
anything.
thinking. Well, yeah, I think you're thinking of as it. If a reasonable person was to hear this, it would be like, oh, I mean, if these aliens already know of our existence and have just been watching us, there's nothing to worry about, and I'm just more worried about my day-to-day life. But you're forgetting about the hillbillies, the survival idiots, the ones that are like preparing for the apocalypse. And all of
Uh-huh.
these people now have a solid reason to rally other people to come into their, ideals and their own beliefs of like the aliens are coming. We got to prepare to, fight them off or whatever. And
That is
again,
true.
and you're also forgetting about the religious effects that can have, because I think me and Taylor were talking about this before our actual episode, but um, I'm a Christian, so Christianity doesn't specifically say that um, aliens aren't real, but there's a lot of clues to us being like the quote unquote special people, right? The only ones to be alive, essentially, that are sentient and intelligent. So it kind of goes against Christianity in a sense, and but also my logical and more scientifical mind or ideas is that there's no way that there's only humans that are intelligent in this entire universe due to just the ever expanding universe and how large it is. There's no way.
Right.
um but then again, it's so I have this like divide, essentially. One of me is saying like, oh, by your religion, it shouldn't exist, and by logically or just scientifically, it wouldn't make sense that there are no aliens. But then again, I feel more like Christianity and just like religion itself is really good at adapting, right? Like when even before science was really a thing, science was kind of like there's a lot of like science versus religion things a while back, and there still is, but a lot religion has kind of adapted pretty well to a very science and logical centric society that we live in. So I'm not too worried about how it will affect religion. I'm just more of worried about the crazy extremists, right?
Hmm. Yeah, that
Joe,
makes
will
sense.
you Joe, will you be a extremist? Will you start buying shotguns and rations and shit?
yeah, dude, what can I say? The fucking Martians, man. Nah, I'm good.
Hate those guys.
I'm just gonna like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they chill because they know about our existence and they didn't do shit. So
I mean, like a lot of I wonder because it's like how like if they already knew about us, right? I'm assuming they have like why did they never interact with us, right? If they knew about us, like that's
Well,
the big that's a
it's
yeah
very
like
likely that they know how evolution works and technological evolution in that case. And if they get involved, it disrupts the technological evolution of the human race.
Mhm.
Like if I know there's like conspiracy theories about aliens building the pyramids and that kind of stuff, but that's very unlikely to be totally honest. Because if they are of a higher intelligence, they would know not to interfere.
Mhm.
Um, Maybe they were a little
Right.
bit careless, and they showed
Or
themselves.
they helped, or they quote unquote helped.
Yeah, but it's more plausible that the Egyptians got
We're or humans are just epic. We're just so smart.
yeah, you get 50,000 of us, and we could build a giant triangle. I think it's
I
possible.
mean, it's also a lot of people say through human suffering, human greatness is shown. So it's like Egyptians used a lot of like manpower, and I'm pretty sure it says like remember APR history class? They said that they didn't use slaves, but they used like a ton of
Indentured
like just
servants.
servants and like just overall workers. And I mean, obviously, it's not as bad as slaves, but they still suffered because they had to drag like tons of stone just from a far off quarry to all the way to back to like the main areas just to like build this giant triangle.
Triangle.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's I don't feel like aliens really would do anything to us, right? Because it's just that's just weird, I think.
No,
Like,
unless we're ready, which we're
yeah,
not
unless
ready.
we're yeah, because you can't just jump the gun and just give us stuff that we don't understand.
Unless they do come to the point where like or
This
they're
is
like
taking too long.
or yeah or it's like okay it's time for us to take whatever we want like cause maybe they do actually need something in a lot of cases, at least in the movies. Aliens tend to come because they need some kind of natural resource,
I
which
mean, if
is
they
totally
really
possible
needed
I guess.
natural resources and they're way ahead of us in just technology, I feel like they would have already found a way to accommodate for that resource problem, right?
That's true.
Because we have that issue, and it's like we're slowly getting there to that to solving that issue, and the fact that these aliens found a way to travel in space, evade our like satellites and all these things, they must be really up to like they're insane. Their technology game is insane. So I feel like they don't have that kind of issue. Especially if they really had that issue, why wouldn't they have invaded our world by now, right?
Well, exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't feel like alien like yeah, so I'll say the statement. Aliens actually whatever. Aliens even if they do exist, it doesn't really matter cuz essentially what they'll do is just watch us, right? Like as of what has happened throughout history. There's no like clear evidence of intervention from these aliens, right? So
Unless you watch Ancient Aliens, of course, then there is a lot of evidence for some reason. Doesn't
yeah,
make
but
any
that's a
sense.
conspiracy thing, though.
I know.
That's not. Yeah,
That's the joke.
yeah. I mean, they're gonna like go back into like like the cave drawings and be like, look, that lady's really large compared to other people. That must be an alien. Which is not true. I mean, there are instances where they found like really big skeletons of humans, like that are like essentially giants, but that's like they're still human, right?
Right.
It's not, yeah, it's not like they're aliens. And we have never found alien skeleton. We found like monkey skeleton that look weird, but that's also because they're as the scientists believe that it's like our evolution from a similar ancestor. So epic. UFOs debunked. No, I mean, do they? Are these actual UFOs? I feel like aliens wouldn't just get caught, right? Like I feel like they're too. If they exist, they'd be too good to just be found out by the military.
Yeah, I mean you're right.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I don't know.
Americans are stupid.
Oh,
Freaking
a lot of
UFO
times.
sightings. UFO sightings are only in America. I have never seen a word like a public mainstream media ever cover UFOs like America does. No other country does this. What is wrong with
Well,
America?
that's
No,
not true.
wait, tell me. Okay, then give me an example because I want to look it up. Other countries
The
that give us
UK, starting in the 12th century.
UK UFO sightings. UFO sighting in United Kingdom. The list of notable alleged sightings. Ooh, okay. But where is it from, though? Oh, come on. Some of these are just freaking stealth bombers.
I don't
I'm
know,
like
man.
looking at these. I'm looking at some of these pictures, and a lot of them are just stealth bombers. They're just like triangles.
Triangle.
Yeah, those are most likely stealth bombers. I don't know. Let me
I
tell
don't
you, man.
know, man.
Oh wait. Oh wait. There's this one. Kent House. Yeah, but that could be anything.
See, but that's the thing. It's not
That
necessarily an
doesn't.
alien, it's just unidentified.
Literally a white streak in a photograph. So it's like a picture of a plane, and then like in the background, there's like a thin like white streak in the middle of all the sky. And they're saying that it might be a U. I mean, it is a UFO, right? It's unidentified. It's just
Mm-hmm.
not. We don't know if it's alien. Yeah, I mean, it is a UFO. I just don't believe it's alien.
That's fair.
Yeah. You want to go to the next topic? Because
Sure.
we're squeezing the top it dry at this point. Twitter is making a subscription service. Twitter's already a toxic freaking place, and they're making it even more cringe by putting subscription shit. Honestly, Tyler, can you please explain the situation?
Okay, so Twitter is introducing a subscription service called Twitter Blue. Um, so the test market is Australia and Canada, and they will get basically all they get are a collection of features uh, that normal Twitter users don't get, such as bookmark folders. You can undo a
Ah,
tweet. You can. There's a reader
oh,
mode.
undo a tweet. That's actually very good.
Uh, yeah, so they describe it as undo tweet typo, forgot to tag someone. Preview and revise your tweet before it goes live. With undo tweet, you can set a customizable timer of up to 30 seconds to click undo before the tweet, reply, or thread you've sent posts to your timeline. Correct mistakes easily by previewing what your tweet will look like before the world can see it. So I suppose that's a good thing. And then we have reader mode. It provides a more beautiful reading experience by getting rid of the noise, as they call it. They're making it easier for you to keep up with long threads on Twitter by turning them into easy to read text, so you can read all the latest content seamlessly.
Wow.
Subscribers also get access to perks such as customizable app icons. I don't know why you would want that. And fun color themes for their Twitter app. And will have access to dedicated subscription customer support. I highly doubt that that's going to be any worse than it already is. Or any better than it already is in that case, actually.
Mm, I don't know. Twitter is just
Um,
a freaking.
Yeah,
It should die.
yeah, Joe, what do you have to say about Twitter?
yeah, I fucking don't like Twitter. No. So, I mean, that's kind of cool that they're implementing this. I mean, this is the closest thing we'll get to an edit tweet button, I suppose. But like, I don't know. You typically when you send a tweet or reply or anything, you kind of think before you already make the tweet. So like,
Well, yeah, because Twitter is kind
so
of like it's what it is. It's like virtual. It's virtual reality in the sense that when once you say it, you can't spit it, you can't take it back, right? And though everyone sees it. I don't know. Twitter is like super cringe and just really bad. I hate it. It's just like because like everyone's so worried about being shamed and also want to shame other people, just like for moral high ground and all that.
yeah,
So it's like they already are worried about what they say. So I don't think that does much to stop this like mistake thing, like making a mistake in Twitter.
I I also don't think like how this is gonna like solve anything that like Twitter like deals with as like or Twitter users like deal with. Because I
Mm.
mean, I assume there's gonna be people obviously who make like impulsive tweets, and I get that, but like again, shouldn't you should really be like thinking before you send something, right?
Yeah.
Um, most of like what like Twitter has an issue or like Twitter cultures like typically tends to have issues over are things from the past, though, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like adding something that, um, in my view, like only can apply to the present, like that's good, but that doesn't, still address like the
Not
people
good
who like
enough.
pick up like 5-year-old tweets just to cancel them, dude.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I don't that's why Twitter's stupid. And that's
Also,
why I will never download it again.
like, I don't really get this. These should honestly, besides like the stupid customizable like app color or whatever, like these should just be things that they give to people. These should not be privileges that you literally have to pay money for every month.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
ability to basically have Twitter say, "Are you sure you want to tweet that for like 30 seconds before you tweet it? Is that really worth like the
subscription,
$3 or $4?"
yeah.
Like they're saying it's 350 Canadian and 450 Australian dollars. So like I know that's not really a lot of money in the long run, but do I
Yeah,
really
but
want to?
why do you even have to pay it though?
Yeah, why do I have to do that to get some very basic features that pretty much every other social media uh, platform already has?
Provides.
Yeah, exactly. That
Right.
I don't. I don't know. Maybe it's because I
It's
don't like Twitter, but I don't know. It's just very odd to me that they would do that.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's like, oh, you want things that everyone else already provides you for free. Well, you have to pay for it, and it's so dumb.
It's
Twitter's
funny.
stupid. It needs to die.
They actually did that with CS:GO. There used to be a thing where uh, like the game would tell you like your stats, like, oh, how well are you doing with this gun? How well are you doing on this map? Whatever. And then they got rid of that for a while. I don't know why. And then about like after 2 years, like maybe a month ago now, they released this new subscription service to get all of your stats. Like the old stats thing that you used to get for free, they took it away from you and now they gave it back, but you have to pay money every month. And I'm like,
Dude,
there's no way someone's actually gonna spend money on that. You have to be very broken or very bad at CS:GO.
it's stupid. They're taking away our rights and selling it back to us.
Basically, that
So
is the
stupid.
idea. It's very strange. I mean, people have been asking for some of this Twitter stuff for a while, and I just give it to them.
Yeah, but
You make a lot of
yeah,
money.
just
Do you
give it no.
really need that extra $3 a month?
I mean that extra $3 adds up, right?
No, I know, but like, does Twitter need it? No.
I want Twitter to die so badly.
I don't know.
I really
I
do.
I think Twitter as a concept it's a good concept, but it's
It
very
just doesn't
flawed.
work.
Well, because
No,
people
it's
are
also
just
because like idiots find other idiots and then they all group up and these group of idiots become more radical because of, uh group polarization, which is a AP Psych vocab word that I still remember for some reason.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's just like they become more radical the more like they get more like when they see more people that believe in the same thing they do, they get even worse. Right? Like they become more radical and more more well deep into their own beliefs, and then they become unreasonable. And that's the issue.
It's very
Yeah.
strange.
But the subscription thing's stupid. Like really, really stupid.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? Because Discord, you could argue that like Discord Nitro is also dumb and not worth the money, which it debatably is. It actually definitely is. It's really not worth the money to essentially just get like animated emojis and emojis from other servers on your stuff and like being able to. It's literally just for aesthetics. But the thing is about it is. None of that stuff are basic like functional UI improvements. Those are just cosmetics. They're not at all like impeding the actual experience of using the app. Like if they said, "Oh, you can only edit something that you commented on Discord, or something that you said on Discord if you pay for Nitro. Like you cannot edit what you typed. You must, or you can't send pictures or something like that. Like that would be terrible. But that's basically what Twitter is doing. Like, oh, you can't edit stuff, or you can't use the undo tweet button unless you pay us money. You're basically paying money for mistakes.
That they made.
I
Yeah.
mean, they could easily resolve this whole thing and get a positive community response by releasing an edit tweet button, but again, Twitter just wants to monopolize on shit.
I mean,
Like I
yeah,
remember
pretty much.
there's also a thing that Twitter tried to roll out, which was like essentially you could have like specific like certain followers, like it's almost like a Patreon or like an OnlyFans that have the accessibility to see like certain content, right?
Uh huh.
Mhm.
Which I mean, it's a good decision. It sounds like a good decision and stuff like that. And then I don't know, you realize that essentially what that's gonna do is that's gonna like put other applications that dedicate themselves to that feature alone of exclusive content, right?
Hmm.
That's gonna like run them out of a fucking business at that rate
Yeah.
because because Twitter is so like worldwide and accessible that people are just gonna gravitate towards that naturally, and no one's gonna be able to use those other sites. This sounds cool, right? Like as an idea, it sounds cool, but like, where am I getting my fucking edit button? That's all I fucking care about. I don't want an undo tweet button. Like if I'm gonna fucking see that tweet, I'm gonna be like, all right, well, maybe there's like one grammar mistake that I'll make, but like generally I'm gonna send out that tweet, right? If I have an edit button,
Yeah.
I can like change it any fucking time that I want. Like even like 2 hours after I sent that, I realize I have a grammar mistake. Instead of
Yeah.
having this undo tweet shit for like 30 seconds, how about I just change the whole thing?
Yeah. That is the thing. Like what you're paying for is not even good. Like, why
Yeah.
would you actually spend the money on it? It's not even good.
It's essentially the meme. It's the meme like when you steal somebody's like item and then you sell it back to them. It's like these are supposed to be given rights or like abilities that we should have like that everyone else provides for free. Why are you selling me it? Right? Like
Hmm.
why like it doesn't make sense. This is a given. Don't make it like don't pretend this is something like it's new or whatever.
Oh god.
It's
Yeah.
cringe.
Overall, it's definitely not a very good subscription service. I don't know why they were like, yes, let's do this. I can imagine legitimately what they were originally going to do. They're like, oh, we're going to make a big like UI update to Twitter. It's going to look really good. And then they're like, wait a minute, guys, get this. What if we made people pay for the update? And then everyone in the office is just like, oh my goodness.
You're a genius.
Because
Absolute mad lad. He actually came up with the idea.
they're like, oh my god, now we can make even more money. That's insane. No way.
No shots.
Yeah, stupid. We can talk about what's it called, the next topic if you want.
Yes. Now that we have talked about some stuff, we're gonna move into gaming news. The most important news, of course.
Yeah, the most interesting news.
Now, the most important news to talk about is upcoming E3 2021. That's what's going to be talked about the most in general. So, the big news is that the full schedule for E3 2021 has been released, which is epic. And it's going to be starting on Saturday the 12th, so that would be next weekend. So, let's see. The first conference is going to be Ubisoft on the 12th, and news from Gearbox Entertainment. But no one really cares about them. I mean, Ubisoft actually, I was going to say Ubisoft. Technically, they're making Far Cry 6, and it looks cool. I don't really think they're going to show anything actually new, though. If they have some new Uno DLC, that would be epic. But that's all I care about. And then the 13th, it's looking like we got Microsoft and Bethesda, which, I mean, they're the same thing now, which is kind of depressing. Square Enix. Square Enix is also going to be there. And
Yep.
on the 13th. And there will be a special presentation, a PC gaming show, and
Oh, God.
future games show. I don't know what this is.
What is it?
I'm just gonna let you know now. I'm just gonna let you know now. The PC gaming show fucking sucks.
I
the
wasn't
last
gonna
time-
watch it.
The last time I watched that shit, it was only for one news that I cared about, and that was Persona 4 coming to Steam. That was all. That was the only thing that intrigued me in that entire presentation.
The other big news is that Warner Bros. Games will be there on June 13th, and they will be showing off their actually very interesting game called Back 4 Blood, which is a spiritual successor to Valve's Left 4 Dead series, which they have legitimately left for dead, just like all their other games. So, yeah, at least we're getting a basically Left 4 Dead 3, which is cool. It's coming from
Yeah,
Warner
yeah.
Bros. I don't know why, but
No
it
idea.
is.
Because they want money.
Well, I mean, I don't know why couldn't it have come from, like, I don't know, Valve or something.
True.
Anyway, on the 14th, which is a Monday, the pre-show will start at 8. That's relevant. Times are irrelevant. You can just look it up if you really care that much. A series of indie developer press conferences are going to be on the 14th, including Take-Two, Mythical Games, Freedom Games, Razer, and Capcom will also be there on Monday. Not an indie developer, but
Indie developer Capcom. Fucking.
oh my god. So, big news. On the 14th,
Yeah.
there will also be presentations from Verizon. I don't know why, but Verizon will be there.
What?
And
Verizon's gonna make a game? Hell yeah.
and more
Verizon game.
importantly, we will see the return of Intellivision.
The hell is that?
Oh yeah, and there's also like Nintendo the day after, but who really cares honestly?
Well,
No.
Intellivision, God, Intellivision.
Television though, on the other hand, now that
I love
is something I'm looking forward to.
love failed consoles from the early '80s. I love them. And Intellivision is the best failed console ever made by Mattel, and also the only console ever made by Mattel. I don't know why Mattel made a console, but the Intellivision. So that's cool. We're getting the Intellivision 3. That was canceled in like 1985, but now it's coming back, so that's epic.
Oh yeah.
I love Intellivision. I saw 2 of them today at the game store that I went to, and I'm like, I really want that, but you know what? That would be a very stupid thing to buy. Okay, and as Joe, you mentioned, on the 15th, we will see Nintendo's E3 show. They will be doing a Nintendo Direct and Treehouse Live, which will start at 9 a.m. Pacific. So, like, what is it? That's like 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or something? 6 a.m.? I don't know.
No, I thought it was at like 12 last.
It's saying 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Wait, what? Pacific.
11?
11 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Wait, is this right? That's not how time works.
That actually?
Wait, how can it start at 8 a.m. on the West Coast and then also be starting at 11 a.m. on the East Coast and 4 p.m.? Wait, no, that is how that works. I'm broken. Oh my god. Oh god,
Okay.
I'm broken. Yeah, no, that's how time works.
11 or 12 p.m. EST?
11. It's 11 a.m. 11 a.m.
Oh, okay.
So, this will be following news from Bandai Namco and Eureka Games. And then at the end, there will be the E3 awards show.
Oh
Is
yeah.
it an award show?
Yeah,
Oh,
I've never actually heard. I did not hear about that, but that is interesting. And
Cool, I
of
guess.
course, hold on. Oh, I'm broken. IGM will be covering this all as part of their summer of gaming, which they did last year, basically as a spiritual E3. I'm reading this on IGN. I know I'm a loser, but it was the first site I saw, so I clicked on it.
I'm really excited to hear from, since we have the new PS5 from a Sony. Oh, wait.
Yeah, that should definitely be addressed. The fact that Sony is just not going to be here. I think they're kind of embarrassed. To be totally
Oh,
honest.
what?
honestly.
Wait, what do they do?
Well, they're just like everyone's talking about the PS5. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people want the PS5, and they just cannot get them out. Like this is worse than the Switch issues. This is worse than the Wii, in my opinion. I've never seen this bad a production for this long, like from a console. I've never seen it like this. Like legitimately, you just can't buy them. They physically do not exist. It's not even like they arrive at the shelf, arrive at a store and people buy them. Legitimately, they just don't exist. And I know why. It's because of the shortage of computer electronics. But I can imagine Sony is kind of embarrassed, honestly. Like I'm sure they're puffing up their chest and saying our consoles always sold out. It's not because we're not producing enough of them. It's because we're just that good. Also, the PS5 it has a lot of good games, but the launch was kind of rocky in terms of actual launch titles.
Yeah. I mean, you guys remember Cyberpunk, right?
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that.
So, all right. So I'm looking at the PS5 launch titles because I'm interested in this. A lot of these are actually just ports. So we got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, some other game, Borderlands 3, some other game, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Dead by Daylight, Devil May Cry 5, Dirt 5, Fortnite, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, Miles Morales is actually the only new game, and technically that's a PS4 port. Mortal Kombat 11, NBA 2K 2001. Yeah, see, like the majority of these are ports. I don't actually see any new game directly developed for the PlayStation 5 here. Like, that's kind of rough. I know you could argue that the new Spider-Man was technically developed for PS5, but it released on the PS4, so it kind of doesn't count. That's my thing. With Breath of the Wild, I consider it a Wii U port because it came out on Wii U. It was developed for the Wii U. It is a Wii U game.
Tyler's getting fired up with this conversation.
I mean, it's true. It was announced in like 2013 for the Wii U. They said it's gonna be on the Wii U. It's gonna be here in 2015. It's gonna be here in 2016. It came out in 2017. So, yeah. Point being, the PS5 launch in terms of actual games, there's a lot of games here to play. I'm not saying there isn't, and a lot of them are good games.
Wait. So they are all ports. We talked about this last time.
Well, we talked about Switch ports. I'm talking about PlayStation ports.
No. We talked about how how they would deal with so many like promising how much ports. I mean not ports
Oh yeah,
games.
you're right. We
And we
talked
talked
about this.
about whether or not they would like actually make those games or shitty games or would they port anything. And we said that they probably will port. I think
Well,
that's what.
these are launch titles. This was before they announced that.
Oh, okay.
I'm just reading the launch notes because what I'm talking about is like the kind of embarrassing launch of the PS5, despite the like crazy demand for it. The actual launch of the console, the content you get with it is lack. I mean, there's a lot to play. There's a lot of quality titles here, but there's nothing new that I couldn't get on my PS4. Why would I buy a PS5? There you go. That's the problem.
Yep. And then if you take into account how hard it was to even get a PS5 during its fucking initial fucking launch,
It's still difficult. You still can't get it. I mean,
Yep.
that's a problem. I mean, a lot of the games. I mean, some of the games they're releasing here are 2 or 3 years old. I have this game. Why? And the thing is, right? Because people argue that about the Switch. Like, why would I buy Doom on the Switch when I have it on the PC? The whole thing about the Switch is that it's portable, so that there is slightly more incentive to repurchase a port on the Switch because there's a little bit more that you can get out of it compared to buying uh, Doom on the PS4 and Doom on the PS5. It's literally the same experience. Maybe the graphics are a tiny bit better, but what do you really care? It's got ray tracing though. That's pretty epic. I love ray tracing.
Oh man.
That's the problem. That is the problem with PlayStation. So that's probably why they're not here at E3 this year. Although I think they skipped out 2019, right? They weren't here in 2019.
Either they're really
Another one.
embarrassed or they just think they're too good.
They actually might think they're too good, but I don't know why they weren't there in 2019. I don't know.
Big bros.
Yeah, I'm excited for this year's E3. Okay, well, here we go. E3 prediction time. I know everybody does this, but E3 prediction time. What do you think Nintendo's going to announce at E3 Go?
Well, obviously they're gonna do DLC for Smash. They're probably gonna show up a new game.
Yeah, what game?
Huh?
Yeah, what game?
Something. I feel like they're gonna remake a old thing again. I feel because like right now Nintendo's in that like it's not a Renaissance era, but it kind of is where it's like
They're making
they
a lot
know
of
that
money.
yeah they're making a lot of money, but they're also making a lot of money on things that are like they're icon like the iconic games or characters. They're just remaking and selling them, and they're doing really well. So I feel like Nintendo's just gonna like keep porting stuff, and then they're gonna probably add some new games, obviously, but probably stuff we don't really care too much about. I'm hoping they do a new game well, they're gonna show a new trailer for Breath of the Wild too. That's not even a question. That's probably gonna happen. I hope they do a new game on Legend of Zelda, just because I just want a game that's not like Breath of the Wild. Because Breath of the Wild 2 is probably going to be a lot of dungeon stuff. I kind of like the whole concept of open world, or at least having the option of exploring. So I wish they could do that, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that we see a new F-Zero game, which won't happen. We'll see
A
a
new
new
WarioWare game,
a
which won't
Wario. Yeah, if we could see like a new like Wario Land game, that would be really cool. I highly doubt that.
happen.
I know they keep saying they're like we're making Metroid Prime 4, guys. I swear to God. So if we could see like a trailer to show that that game isn't dead, that would be cool. If we could see a trailer for Pikmin 4 because they technically said that was in the works, that would be cool. Honestly, I think Pikmin 4 is the game that I want to see the most this year. That's like that's like most recently reasonably plausible. What I'm worried about, honestly, is them announcing another Mario game as like the big new announcement this year, and I can see them doing that. I know they just had the year of Mario or whatever, but like they're gonna do it. They're gonna be like,
They don't.
guys, you're like, guys,
Yeah.
we're making Odyssey 2, and then everyone freaks out. No, give me Pikmin 4, goddammit. Pikmin 4, uh, Metroid Prime 4, F Zero. Can we get Mother 4? That would be cool, please. That's not
I
gonna.
beg.
That one will not happen. That one legitimately will not happen. But there's the
Mother 4.
we're
I
never
mean,
gonna get Mother 4.
you could ask for Mother 3 Switch port and English
Yeah,
dub.
English dub. There you go. That would be pretty cool. That would actually be
Um,
very cool.
if I want to actually think realistically here, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I hope to see in E3 this year is more details on Pokemon Legends. I want to be able to
Yes.
see
Mm-hmm.
what that game will be able to provide besides just what we saw in that official trailer.
Which was
I
a
have a
little
feeling we're going to get more
scuffed.
information on this because like last year's E3, oh no, last 2 years E3, we had up information about Pokemon Sword and Shield that they talked about, which is cool. Which was cool before the game like Sword and Shield came out. So I'm thinking that maybe like if they're still thinking about the new Pokemon games, like they can talk about Pokemon Legends before it releases in 2022. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that
really
would be.
excited where
Yeah.
they would go with that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be very cool.
We need that because honestly, that game looks kind of rough in its current state.
I agree.
Yeah, but I also am like listening to other people talk about it, and it's like they also just expect it to look like terrible.
Well, that's what I'm worried about, right? Because, my God, like, I don't get it. I really don't get how Game Freak makes, like, such honestly kind of ugly games sometimes. Uh, I don't get it considering the technology. Like, the Switch can handle fairly, like, at least graphically, aesthetically pleasing games like Breath of the Wild. I don't want to compare everything to Breath of the Wild, but it's difficult to not compare Pokemon Legends to Breath of the Wild. That's basically what it is. Uh, except it doesn't have the cool dynamic lighting. So I don't. They need to stylize it a little bit more. They need to make it visually look better. If we could not have Pokemon just like pop in and out of existence when it renders too far away, that would be cool. Just some basic that would be cool kind of stuff. Like please. It's not even that would be cool. It's expected of you, and you don't do it, and people buy your games anyway. That's upsetting to me.
Yeah, that's just Nintendo shit. How it'd be.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I don't like the fact that we just accept that. We're just like, yeah, that's just how it is.
it's like, what am I not gonna buy Pokemon Sword and Shield? I know,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Well, I didn't either, so you're fine.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I don't like the newer ones. I mean, that's also just in general a very unpopular
It's
opinion.
no, a lot of people don't like the new ones. There's a lot of like older gen people. I get it. I like some. Okay, I like one of the 3DS games. But besides that, yeah, I don't know. X and Y, I could give them a pass just because like it was their first time doing it, so it wasn't gonna look perfect. We talked about this like a million times. We've gone over Pokemon because they. I mean, there's always news about Pokemon.
And always issues with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
True. All of this is true.
Okay, another very on. Oh, also Splatoon 3. I keep forgetting that that game is going to be
I
a
was gonna
thing.
talk about that too. Yeah.
That would be
Um,
cool. I like Splatoon.
Never played Splatoon, but it always seemed fun to me.
It's
Wondering
fun.
what they'll do with the third iteration of the game.
Yeah.
More Splatfest, more Splatfest. I never like participated in those, but they seemed cool. So
Yeah, that would be cool if they make it a little bit more to it. I
yeah,
actually what happened to me when I got Splatoon 2 on the Switch, and I got about 2 weeks before Nintendo Switch Online was announced. So I got about 2 weeks out of that game before I never played it again. Until about a couple
uh,
weeks ago, where I, I I knocked a couple of years off my life, and I actually spent money on Nintendo Switch Online.
But why?
I know.
I
Well,
mean, you're one of those people that don't like spending money on like terrible stuff, so I'm
I
surprised.
only did it for a couple of months, and I only did it because my friends wanted me to play Splatoon with them, and I'm like, okay.
Mm, guess I'll
uh,
get it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
makes sense.
don't. Huh? What were you gonna say?
It's like a force of necessity because other people get it, and you just want to play with your friends.
That's the problem. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not gonna
It's not
like
good.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
not spend the $6 or whatever it is for 3 months to not I'm fine with doing that. I probably won't spend another $6, but like I'll do it
No,
until
yeah, I get what you're saying.
until the fat of us playing dies down, which it always happens. So when that dies down, I just won't renew it, which I don't plan on. Also, I really don't like the way that NES and SNES games run on that thing. I really, really don't.
no.
It's just I don't like those controls on with Switch controller. It's not it, in my
Mm,
opinion. That's just me.
I see. I see.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. Are we
Uh,
expecting any games from any other developer?
Capcom is cool. I
Capcom?
mean, yeah, Capcom is cool. I mean, I like fighting games, so like, I know they're gonna like finish like Street Fighter Five after like years of working on that game.
Yeah.
um, maybe like we can see another Ace Attorney game from Capcom. We can like maybe we can finally fucking get a decent Marvel versus Capcom game.
No,
But
let's not do that ever
um,
again. I don't, dude. Crossover games don't work. All right, it's really hard to get that to work, and
What
it's just
about
like
like MVC though, like that series is a legend. Like MVC one and MVC two. Oh no, MVC two, Marvel versus Capcom two. That was whew,
is
and then MVC three
is
was
that
great.
really that iconic?
Yeah, dude. If you like look in the fighting game community, like a lot of people love MVC two and then MVC three. Um,
I honestly
it's a
thought
really
that was
good
like a
game.
B tier game, honestly. Not like production wise. It's just I felt like it's stupid. Like why would you ever get Marvel versus Capcom? What is there to fight against? Like
yes?
for Smash, it's like we people want it because like because they want to see their favorite like iconic like Nintendo, but now it's more. But before a while back, it was like, oh, I want to see my like favorite Nintendo icon character fight against another one, right? That was the whole premise of it. But what is behind Marvel and Capcom? What is there to relate?
Well, as you said, Mark. I mean,
You
yeah, that
got
is
the
that is valid.
Marvel. You got
However,
Thanos.
well, actually, they didn't put in Thanos until after the latest installment, which is the most
What?
controversial one. To be
No,
real, it was
Thanos.
Disney. Well, Disney. It was when Disney acquired the series, and then when Disney acquired, no, it's when Disney acquired Marvel, right?
Right.
So like, and then after Disney did that, they made some corporate shit that made people who liked MVC turn away from it, which is why the latest installment sucks, or at least is seen as a disappointment. At least the online is good though, apparently. But
Wow,
yeah,
So,
that's a surprise.
something I want to see, and I don't really know if this is actually going to happen. Um, I want to see Capcom make a remake or not remake, a full, I guess it's a remake, a complete remake from the ground up on the RE engine of the original Resident Evil in the same vein of Resident Evil 2 and 3. Um, I doubt that this is going to happen because they just released Resident Evil Village, but I really want to see the original game like actually look good because it's funny because they're like, oh well, I mean, we remade it in like 2002 for the GameCube, and that looks okay. But I don't want that. No, I want it to look actually good. The GameCube looks fine, but I don't like. No, no, just please. You remade Resident Evil 2. You remade Resident Evil 3. Why did you do that? You skipped over Resident Evil 1, the better one. Actually, I don't know. I just really want to see that game remade. I don't know. I like Resident Evil.
What did you think of the latest one with the woman?
The Village.
Yeah, yeah.
It's see, they're starting to do the freaking Resident Evil 5 and 6 problem of like, oh, it's not scary anymore. Now it's just a gun game, but like sort of in the same universe. Also, I don't really like how they're just kind of retconning stuff into the universe now. They're like, oh, what's his name? I don't know. The guy who formed the Umbrella Company, the Umbrella Corporation. He's like, oh yeah, I was actually in the village. This is how I got inspired to do the virus. When like way earlier in the other games, they're like, oh well, that's not how that happened. They're like, oh, it was like him and his friends from like Oxford or whatever, because I think he's British, and like they started the company, and it was about money. But then no, it's about like freaking whatever her name, the main villain in Resident Evil Village, and like he's in love with her or something, and he's like, "Oh, you're such an inspiration to me." And I'm like, no, this is not how it works.
That's not how that works. You can't just delete a huge
It's
part
like-
of the story.
Listen, if you're gonna make like what, I know it's technically within the main line of games, but I have trouble doing. Listen, visually and gameplay wise, it looks great. It's fun. It's a fun story. It's very ridiculous. You really have to like, you really have to suspend your disbelief to fully enjoy it. But like as a game, there is a lot of good here. There's a couple of funny bugs. Like it's a little buggy. Also, something I find very strange is, in my opinion, it actually looks worse than Resident Evil 7. I don't know why, but it looks more video gamey, while Resident Evil 7 looked like really.
Sorry, I've never played these games, so I don't know how they look like. But I do know that. Oh god, I do know that it was. I mean, a lot of people really like this game, the newer one, right?
No, it's a good game. It's not a great Resident Evil game. It's a good game. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a good game. It looks good. It looks fun. It's just not a good Resident Evil game. And which was the problem with like Resident Evil 6. People didn't like it because it just was not really a Resident Evil game. It was just like a shooter with Resident Evil characters, which is fine, but like you can make it a spin-off or something. I don't know. It shouldn't have been in the main line.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been. Okay, yeah, I get
I mean, like, debatably, you could say that about Resident Evil 7 because it also it doesn't involve any, until the very end, it involves, like, 0 pre-established characters. They're all new characters, which is not a bad thing, like, to introduce new characters or anything. But they completely, they completely, like, shove everything that you know about Resident Evil away. For the majority of Resident Evil 7, you just don't. It's just a horror game. But the great thing about it is that it is a fantastic horror game, which is what Resident Evil originally was. People actually thought like the first game when it came out on the PlayStation in like 1996, it was a horror game. And they kind of lost that when they went into specifically like Resident Evil 3 and 4. But Resident Evil 4 is considered one of the best games of all time, so I digress. Whatever. I'm nerding out of Resident Evil, but it's a good game. The new one is a good game. It's not a great Resident Evil game. I want to see them remake the original in the same engine that they made this on. There you go. I'm done.
All right. I mean, I can kind of like relate to that feeling of the game being like good, but just not good for this series. If that makes sense.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I got that feeling. I don't know if I felt that with the game before, but I feel like that's going to be a feeling that eventually I'm going to have with the game.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I don't know. Hard to say, but eventually it'll come. I know for a fact.
Yeah, I mean, there's some games that I feel that way about. I'm trying to think of another game. I don't know. This one is one of those. There's a lot of games that are good on their own, but they shouldn't really be in this series. I feel like.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just comes from like like the sequel, like sort of like fucking effect, right? Like
Hmm.
eventually you're just gonna reach a point where it's not gonna always happen, but I always feel like there's like this recurring phenomenon where it's just like, well, it's eventually either they switch like the people in charge or like some shit happens. It's just shit's not gonna feel the same shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense. Let me know. If it doesn't, then
No, no,
I understand.
you're right. I mean, that's kind of the problem. I don't
Yeah.
know. Eh. Although I like that they're doing like a lot more because Resident Evil was kind of uh, dormant for a while. Like there was
Hmm.
not really a lot going. Like they'll release a game or something, but now they're like, I know they made like some questionable movies a while ago, but they're like rebooting the movies to be more faithful to the actual story. They're making like a TV series with some of the characters from Resident Evil 2, which is cool. Like they're kind of expanding it into more of a franchise, which I'm fine with. Just like don't mess it up.
Don't fuck
Don't
it up.
screw it up again.
Please, like, eh, no one can say that the Resident Evil movies were good. They were fine. Actually, you know what? It's the movie version of what Resident Evil Village is. They're perfectly fine movies, like visually, acting, whatever. But they're just not great Resident Evil movies. There you go. Same problem. I think
Yeah,
that happens a lot more with movies, actually.
I'd say so as well. Like, um, I don't know. I was trying to think of an example, but I can understand that too. It's just like, you know,
Oh, I have one that's very controversial.
yeah, what's up?
Toy Story 4. It didn't
Yes.
need.
Okay. Yes.
Wait, they're making
Yes. I'm not
another
even
Toy
gonna.
Story? Are you
No,
serious?
no,
They
they already
made
made
it.
one.
They
They
made
already
Toy
made
Story
one.
4.
They didn't need to go past 3. They don't even need to go past
Wait. Is
2.
that this?
They
Is
didn't
that this
need past.
food movie?
Yes.
Oh no, that
Yeah.
was a shit movie.
Dude, they didn't need to go past 3, but they decided to. And arguably they didn't need to go past 2, but like
Yeah. 3 was a strong conclusion. It ended
that
ended the story off like on a good note. It showed, growth, development, whatever. That's
right.
fine. And then they're like, "Hey guys, we're making another one." It doesn't like really progress the story at all, and it actually throws out pretty much all of like everything, all of the morals of toys from the first 3 movies. It's very
Right.
interesting because they're like throughout the first 3 movies, they're like, "Oh, toys are meant to be played with. They're meant to be played with by kids. Like this is our purpose, literally in life." And then like in the fourth movie, they're like, "You know what? We're
We're
people
free.
too. Yeah, we could do whatever we want. We don't have to do that." And I'm like, well, I mean, what was the point of the past 3 movies? And like, they just didn't have any of the other characters in it besides Woody. And I know
What?
why, because Tim Allen is a kind of, I mean, he's like a conservative guy, so I know why they wouldn't really want to buzz that much. Tim Allen is not an A-list actor like Tom Hanks. And I don't know any of the other people, which should also mean that they're not A-list actors. I don't actually know who plays Bo Peep, but like that was like the main plot thread of the story was that Tom Hanks and Bo Peep get back together, or Woody.
And
The
yeah,
same
like they
person.
pretend like we care about that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was really wondering what happened to Bo Peep. Like,
Yeah, I was just like, who is that character again?
I mean, I think
I
I was
genuinely did
yeah.
not remember.
I don't know, it's very very strange. Like some of the choices that they made with that series. I could also argue that with like Finding Dory, I don't really think that needed to happen. I like, just
I think
Yeah.
every Pixar, okay, except Incredibles 2. I gotta like. I think they like a lot of people wanted Incredibles 2.
and it was just
It's
bad.
just they threw out all of the character development. I think that's a big issue with it's Pixar, right?
Yes.
Pixar. Yeah,
Yes.
I think
Like it's
that's a
not a
big issue with.
bad movie, but they're just going in a completely different direction from what they had already established.
It's not even no, they're regressing. They're just going back and then redoing the character development again, the same thing. So it doesn't make sense. Why would you redo that? Right? It's like
Yeah, no,
I
you're
don't know.
100% right. Another one I find very strange: Monsters University didn't really need to happen. I mean, I know it's a prequel, not really a sequel, and it's fine. I think it does a perfectly fine job of like establishing some of the characters, how they got to where they are, where we see them in Monsters Inc. It's fine.
I thought it was all right.
I'm not saying it was
Universe.
again. It wasn't a
Yeah.
bad movie. I just don't really think it was necessary. I actually like the idea of
Mhm.
most Pixar movies staying, like as much as people want a sequel for whatever. I think it's smarter for them not to make another one because with Pixar movies, they don't really leave a cliffhanger or anything. They pretty much
Except
they wrap
Incredibles.
it all. Yeah, but like they wrap it all up, like for the most part. Like they have
Uh,
It's like a happy ever after, but then they decide to make
like
another.
imagine if they actually made a Wally 2.
look at fucking Cars, by the way.
Oh, I'm not.
Cars.
I haven't talked
Oh,
about Cars yet.
okay,
Yeah.
no, Cars is like terrible. We can't.
No, Cars
That's
is amazing. Okay,
like a whole different can of worms.
They made a sequel to the original, and then hey,
Hold on. Let's go on a commercial break.
Because we fly a whole new world of travelers, we know the world expects good service from an airline and at a great price. So we have our full service economy class, offering every Pan Am passenger complete service no matter how inexpensive their ticket. For a lot of people, economy is the best idea an airline can have.
and we're back, and we were talking about Pixar movies, and we were specifically talking about Cars. So, Cars, not
Yeah,
not a good.
Cars 1 pretty epic. Cars 2 and 3 questionable.
The Cars 2 is worse than questionable.
I know.
Cars
I
2
feel
is
like
like a
Cars
10
2
on
is
the
like
pain
that. No,
scale.
Cars 2 I like because of how
Why?
much they just didn't care.
It's not even that they didn't care. I just don't know. I just don't get it. I don't understand. Also, this is like kind of unrelated, but have you ever like thought about the Cars universe? Like if you
Uh,
think
Are you talking about the car insurance or life insurance type of shit? Or
no, but like okay, think about it. So in the first Cars movie,
Okay.
they establish that like racing is the like top sport. Okay, so.
Yep.
What if you're a race car? Are you born a race car? So are you born a race car? A, B, are you born or are you produced in a factory? And if so, what kind of factory gives you life? Is it magic? Is there magic involved
no,
in you?
they say that they're built, right? They're
Do
built.
they say that they're built?
Yeah, they're built.
I don't
They're
think they
built.
do. They
No, no,
never
no.
said they're built.
Remember that other game that's called remember that terrible side movie called Planes?
Yeah,
That was a
yeah.
thing. Oh
I
yeah, that was
forgot
a
about
thing.
that. They made two of
Yeah,
those.
yeah. They made two of those.
Two of those?
They did. They made a second one. Yeah.
What? Why?
Okay, but anyways. So the whole thing, right, was that they were built.
Okay.
That
See,
was like the whole idea of like when they talk about like because the guy is not a race plane or
Uh-huh.
whatever they're
So
called.
there. So
He talks about like they talk about like how you weren't built for that or whatever. So it's like
it's just well, that could be I don't know. There's other questions, right? Because in the first Cars movie, there's some celebrity cameos. We see Jay Leno as a car. We see Arnold Schwarzenegger as a car.
When?
Look up Arnold Schwarzenegger car. It's a real thing. You can look up Jay Leno car too. That's also a thing. Daryl Cartrip or Daryl Hardtrip. Daryl Cartrip is the car version of Daryl Hardtrip. So like, there's legitimately real people. So does that mean that like there's car versions of like every like celebrity, or is it just celebrities? Is it people? Is it an alternate universe? Is it? I know in like the Pixar timeline, it's supposed to take place like after like 500,000 years or something after all the other movies. I swear to God, dude, it doesn't make any sense. Like the more you think about it,
it doesn't make sense. It's like everything is just crammed into one. It's like, oh, I think this is how it works.
Also, like, so they have mouths, they have tongues, they have teeth, but they don't eat. They drink gas. But in the second movie, they do eat. There's wasabi, but it doesn't make any sense. Just where's the wasabi go? Right? I mean, and they feel pain, but like, only
where's their nerve ending?
Where's their nerve? Do they have a brain? Well, you don't. And do the cars have doors? Because it looks like they have doors. And if the doors open, where are they open to? There's no interior.
I mean,
of the vehicle.
there's also one specific character in Cars 2 where like her eyes are actually her headlights.
Oh yeah.
So like her inside is a full functioning car.
I guess. See, like it doesn't make any sense. Also, this is where it gets kind of interesting, because in the second movie there's a car pope, so that means there's car religion. So does that mean that there was car Jesus? Does that mean that car Jesus was and here's a really good one, right? So if the car Bible is a real thing, and that means that the story of Noah's Ark is in the car Bible. So so
how the fuck did what?
No, I haven't even gotten to the best part. So like, if in the car Bible story of Noah's Ark, car Noah built a built a boat. Does the boat become sentient? Because there are sentient boats in cars. And how does he do that?
Yeah.
So does the boat become sentient after he builds it? At what point does it become sentient? Like, so also, wouldn't that make it irrelevant? Because even better. No, because in Cars 2, they go on a plane. And like they go inside the plane. There's like an interior to the plane.
Yeah, and then it's a sentient plane.
But it's a sentient plane, and
so they give life to everything that they
so
build.
Like, is the function, is like all the bodily functions just like in the cockpit of the plane? But like, why would a creature be? How would evolution do that? It doesn't make any sense. There's like no thought.
If you think about it too much, your brain starts to hurt.
It actually does, and it's really funny. Whenever I like try to have a conversation with people about cars, like they're just like, I legitimately don't want to hear it. It will hurt.
No,
me.
I mean I've like genuinely gone through that rabbit hole before.
It's very difficult too, because
but like a lot of people that like really into Pixar timelines are like.
No, they say like Cars. They say like Cars takes place like thousands.
No, Cars is like very end. It's like WALL-E and then Cars. So yeah, it's like essentially what it's saying is that
it's like
cars
vehicles
like
became sentient.
No. So it's the human race got fucking wiped out suddenly, right? And
yeah,
everyone.
No, they said that like they said it was like AI or something. Like the same AI used in WALL-E. No, they said like it's like the same AI that was used in WALL-E, and like it becomes overly advanced or something.
Like material.
I don't know. See, that's what doesn't make any sense. Like, how do they have a tongue, or how do they have eyes that like actually like are eyes, and how they feel pain? Also, like, it doesn't make any sense.
You're slowly making me go into like an existential crisis.
No, it does. Like, the more you think about it, you can't watch this movie the same way. Also, here's a question. So, like, freaking Larry the Cable Guy plays Mater. So, is Mater the car version of Larry the Cable Guy, or is there a? So, is there a Larry, or is there a Label the Carry Guy?
Yes.
So there's two of them, and the same thing with Owen Wilson. Actually, all the kids. And also, do they die?
Do they die?
Yeah,
because Doc. Because
like,
Doc dies.
2, they explode.
Well, yeah, and like Doc Hudson, like the old racing car from the first movie, he dies, and like they explain that because like the actor passed away, which that makes sense. But like,
Yeah, that's
but like
impossible.
if they die, like how long do they live? And also, like how do they die? Do like running out of gas doesn't kill them? So what kills them? Like their engine can be like not running and they'll be alive. So I don't. How does it work?
I think it's kind of like I think it's how like how older cars just break down easier. It's kind of like how lemons die easier, or like they're called lemons, but
Wait, you
old cars.
you know that they're called lemons.
Well, that's because I watched the Pixar films like recently. Like I watched all of them actually. I was on.
Rewatched Cars 2.
Yeah, I had to.
Why?
Well, I wanted this. I was on a what's it called? Pixar marathon.
See, I would just skip
Oh.
Cars 2. Cars 1 was fine. They didn't like there wasn't enough in it to make you question that much. There was a lot to question, but not that much. And then Cars 2 happens, and it's like, how do they have guns? Did they evolve to have guns? Do the guns actually hurt them? Do they feel pain when they get shot? Like,
Well,
how does the fuel?
They feel pain when they explode. That's for sure.
How does the fuel, like, if the all-in-all fuel explodes, does it kill them, or do they just, like, not...
No, they do die. Remember the blue car, the American spy or whatever. He dies from the.
Oh,
thing.
yeah! No, but, like, on the track, when they get
I'm sure,
shot
I
with
feel
the thing,
so
they don't
sad
die.
that I know this, but I watched that movie like yesterday. No, I seriously watched that movie yesterday, so I know it.
It's kind of embarrassing. I remember what all-in-all fuel is. That's a bad...
But yeah, and I don't understand why like they drink that, like I don't.
No, but like, they drink
eat
the gas,
food,
but they
why
eat
yeah.
food. So like, do they drink water? No, they do
also
drink water.
They also drink alcohol.
And
I
like,
always
what does
thought
that do?
oil- I always thought oil was a substitute for water because they can't.
Well,
Or
yeah,
naturally.
but like, also, okay, here is a very good question. Where does it go?
Oh yeah, where does it go?
Because like
Out
they
the,
but they don't like poop. So where does it go?
Well, you don't know that. I'm joking.
Well, no, but there's no bathroom. No, actually, there are bathrooms. No, you're
they
right. There's
do. They have,
bathrooms.
like,
I know there's bathrooms in Cars too. I know.
No, and it's oil. It's they literally pee and poo oil.
But how do you turn wasabi into oil?
The AI, man, the AI. Yeah, that's weird. And that means they don't need oil changes because they just shit out.
But I think they
old
do.
oil.
No, but they do. I think in Cars 1 they show like Doc Hudson getting an oil change with the freaking police chief, man. Oh, another question. So like they've established, actually interesting. In Cars 1, there's a scene where it shows skid marks in the sky, which doesn't make any sense because it's not that the cars fly. There's planes in the universe. So do the planes make skid marks, or do the it doesn't make any sense. That
there's actually they actually explore that in planes. So they talk about how like it's like quote unquote the highway of the air. So like the planes use it to go super fast.
But they make skid marks.
I don't know, man.
Also, like if there's
I'm
planes,
assuming it's like wind patterns are different. That's why.
Also, if there's planes, then why do what was I gonna say? Oh my god. If there's planes, then why do like the bug cars, or why do like the flies in Cars 1, why are they cars with wings and not planes or helicopters? And there's helicopters in the first movie, so it's not like they didn't establish that was a thing.
Wait, sorry, I didn't hear you cut off.
In the first Cars movie, there's a scene where they show like house flies, except that they're cars and they just have wings. Why didn't they use like a helicopter or like a gyrocopter or something?
I don't think they were thinking that far back then.
But there was a helicopter in the first movie, so like they had already established that flying machines existed. And
True.
but you know what? This is.
This
I
is
think it's.
taking over the discussion of
I-
E3, which was what a fucking.
And I like this conversation better.
I love cars.
It is truly a masterpiece.
Okay,
For its generation, yes.
listen. The first one will always be kind of nostalgic for me. Cars
Right.
2 will always be uh,
I liked it.
a
I don't
thing.
know.
Cars
A
3 will
thing?
also always.
It was so funny. I thought it was the funniest thing because of how like
Cars 1
how
or
they
2.
just didn't care.
Cars 2 is not a good movie. Entertaining, sure, but not a good movie.
Well, yeah, it's not a good movie. Of course not. That's
Now,
not even a debate.
I believe it is about time to wrap it up because we have been
Yep.
talking about
Right.
cars for a long time now.
Yep.
Almost.
Well, okay. Thank you guys for joining us. Please subscribe to Joe's channel. It's kahgo. We'll put a link down in the description, as always. And like and subscribe and comment and tell us how you think about our long, convoluted discussion on Pixar films, especially Cars.
Yep, the best one.
Yep.
Yeah.
See you guys in the next episode.
See you guys then.